Well, believe it or not, Rangers definitely will be one of the teams to watch this season with the way they're playing. No surprises, they are on top of the log. Well, I've made a change now. Let me start off the show by quickly introducing to you my very special guest. Now, of course, one that is also very special, but is here all the time. Let me start from my right. It's let me be simple tonight.
Just Felix, my pleasure.
Let me just introduce you as Felix Awogu tonight.
Absolutely.
Next time I will do the proper introduction.
No,
but it's good to have you on Sports Tonight.
It's a great pleasure.
It was a long time you appeared on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
But somehow, anytime we have issues that have to do with the future of our game, we always bring you.
I'm an investor in the future, so I want the future to work.
It will. Onye, good to have you on Sports Tonight as well.
Thanks for having me, Austin.
You were almost calling me Austin. I thought I was the only one rusty. I didn't know that you were also rusty.
No, because we are used to Austin.
Man, that's it. But before we talk about the football situation, there's something positive that I think we need to start with. Enyimba, 3-0 winners over Etoile du Sahel. Everybody was expecting a very tough game. Yes, victory for Enyimba, but not as convincing as the 3-0.
But to be honest, it was a tough game. Enyimba took their chances. If you take your chances, you score the goals. And if you don't take it, if you look back the Nigeria Super Eagles match against Egypt, we had the chances. We didn't take all our chances.
Were going away.
Football is about taking your chances. But again, I think Enyimba should not take it that for granted. Hey, we scored 3 goals. You can as well concede 3 goals. So they need to tighten up, push up the pressure, and I hope they qualify for the league. Oh
yeah, these are the pictures from the game. It was the Enfant Uro show. From this penalty that he converted, it went in to this goal. Beautiful finish. Yeah. It was there, a predator in the box, and Enyimba will be, pinching themselves. How did we lose 3-0?
But I have an issue. Where are the crowds? Where's the fans?
Port Harcourt.
In Port Harcourt. Yeah, no, it's not just, even when Sharks plays, when
that's to do with the Port Harcourt,
we don't have the fans.
Rivers United.
Rivers United as it is now.
It's a huge problem. They were always coming out when the Eagles were playing. That's because the governor would throw the gates open.
No, it's not about that. I think there's something fundamental. Maybe they need to do a research and really find out. I don't think it's about throwing the gate open.
How can Enyimba against Etoile in Port Harcourt and people are not watching?
Nobody's watching.
It's a very big game because Etoile are defending champions of the CAF Confederations Cup, and they came with a lot of expectations. I was speaking to an official of the Enyimba, and he said they came with so much confidence, arrogance. Even at the pre-match meeting,
in a chartered flight.
At the pre-match meeting,
chartered flight.
They were like the home team. So Enyimba, felt that it's going to be a tough match. Like Felix said, you have to take your chances. It became an anticlimax, and you see, there's still the second leg. We should not make the same mistake Akwa United did, got a vital away victory and came back and bungled it in Uyo. So the second leg is still there. This team is a very...
How would you want them to prepare for the second leg? Because it's a long time when a Nigerian team got into the group phase. And this is going to be very key for Nigeria if we don't want to lose one of the spots. Because
you said
for a long time, we were not doing well.
Yeah, and I think the last time Enyimba got to the group stages, we are in the 2011. And 5 years later, they are still struggling.
Sunshine at some time also got in, but for a long time we never got close.
Yeah, because I don't know really what was happening. Caterpillars were champions, but they don't seem to do well on the continent. So, which to me is quite interesting and worrying. But again, I think first of all, like the question is, how do we approach the game? Yeah, you approach the game quietly. You don't go there to be the one that will do the scoring. Sit back and absorb. If you have your own chance, take it. If you can score a goal, fantastic. That means they need 5 goals. So they just have to be more tactical.
Everybody has to everybody has to come together now. The governor of Abia.
Support too. You just said that
they came chartered
flights. And when you are going to North Africa, like when Nasarawa United went to Algeria, they had to go through Istanbul.
It's a long. You go to Europe and then you come back.
The match will be played on Tuesday, April 19, on Tuesday. So in less than maybe 12 days time, the match should hold. So the club needs the support of the state government, in terms of funding, to ensure that the players are well motivated, the players arrive in Sus, because the game will be played in Sus on time.
Let them go with Winchita. Let them go. I'm advising them now because I know what we saw in Egypt. let them give them a lot of those things because the cold
you see,
in that part of the world now.
That's part of the role of Nigeria Football Federation, is to give some technical support in such critical moments. One, if Enyimba makes it, we're guaranteed a second slot for the Champions League, which is also beautiful for the league.
For Nigerian football,
to me, it is beyond Enyimba. It is a big battle between
the
league management company, the Nigerian Football Federation, the sports ministry. I'm so disappointed. I don't know why people are not talking about the scrapping of the NSC. To me, it's a worrying development. The minister is saddled with the youths and all that, but the sports commission, if it was there, they should also be called a buffer to some of these things. And probably why we are losing around the world. We lost in the Nations Cup qualifier because there's nobody, no technocrat who is directly responsible for sports as it is currently.
And then the funding is also a problem because the funds are not coming.
It's not going to come straight. So there are issues. I don't know why we're not getting it right. And sports is such a big business. It's such a big rallying point for this country, but we're not really taking it seriously.
Okay, since you have talked about it, let's talk about the big one now. We've reserved this one for the last, the FIFA letter that came in today. Guys, I know we've said a lot already about what happened on Friday, the just ruling and all of that, but today FIFA sent in their letter. Expectedly, it was warning Nigeria about the consequences of allowing a civil court to overrun a football association and all of that. And the key part of the letter for me was that they said this case had gone to CAS in 2014 and had ended in 2015. Why is it now coming back into a civil court in Nigeria? So I think that's all that they said in the letter. And the one that, look, we don't want to suspend. You have to do what is right. We'll be monitoring all of these things. Felix, how does this make you feel?
Well, I feel very
going back to this same
it is, and
letter,
again,
threats,
I don't know if there's something special about the just courts, because it's always coming out from just. Yeah. And to me,
but it's just like any federal high court.
Yeah, it's
only that decisions about football are mostly coming from there.
It's coming out from just. And you see, my own issue is simple. I don't see it as a big deal. Yeah, somebody has gone to court. But my issue is the interpretation. Well, it's a court decision. And somebody has gone to an appellate court to challenge that decision.
To appeal.
So everything it stays on status quo until the appellate court decides. And again, I think I also have an issue with the legal team of Nigeria Football Federation. You had an out-of-court settlement in 2014 on this issue. What happened? The same issue also cropped up again. So I thought I'm not a lawyer, but when you sit back with lawyers, they tell you after you have an out-of-court settlement, you take that decision back to the High Court, and then it becomes a judgment of the court. So what happened? Who are the advisors, legal advisors of the Nigeria Football Federation?
After they settled, everybody went back
home. So it was not a judgment of court. So these are some of the issues I think
so was it released?
they need to really look at, because really it's pushing us backwards. We are sliding by the day.
Well, before I come to you and get your reaction, this thing happened on Friday, but the official reaction from the sports minister didn't come until earlier on today. And it was on his Twitter handle. I mean, it's good to see that our administrators are taking to social media to react to some of these things. And if you go on to read the minister's tweet list, you will see a lot of the things that he put there. Under my watch, anarchy has no place. All those hoping to take office must follow the rule of law. Anything to the contrary is not acceptable. He was referring to the other party that were already making pronouncements and saying that they were going to go and start work. And it says, I will stand for anything that is in the interest of the nation, but whatever is not fair and just, I will resist with all vehemence. That's the sports minister. I want to read more. I have said severally that all this fight in the NFF is for personal interest and not football. Otherwise, what is responsible for this shame?